What are you doing?
I'm configuring the solar panels. If they're up a little higher, it's easier to grab onto this. Probably gonna have to custom make some brackets out of aluminum. Maybe it's wrong, and I'll end up having to change this, and I'll have a whole bunch of holes in my bimini top to fill, but so I really have about 5 seconds to start bending it before it starts to cool down 50 degrees in temperature.
Previously on Spoondrifter, we spent 3 years in a boatyard bringing our 40-year-old hurricane-damaged sailboat back to life. Todd, I, and 4 of our 10 kids knew nothing about boats when we started, but with time we have repowered, re-rigged, and turned this boat into a home that's nearly ready for the next big adventure. We've spent this summer learning to sail and adding the last essential pieces before we sail to Florida and leave the US for bluer waters. A few episodes ago, we installed 3 of these LG Neon 320-watt solar panels on our rear arch. These 2 will sit on our bimini top with 2 100-watt panels that our viewer Klaus brought to us. Thanks, Klaus. This will bring our total solar to 1,800 watts. These will be divided between our house bank and our designated electric motor battery bank. But Todd will explain all of those details in the future. First, we need to get them installed.
Got a whole pile of tools. What I gotta do today is put the solar up. We're gonna go anchor out and test our solar system out. So the question is, can I install the panels, hook up all the chargers, and have the system working before we actually leave to go anchor? I'm configuring the solar panels to see how they fit the best on here. Have a whole lot of room in between no matter what. What I'm trying to do is configure these solar panels a little bit. These big ones don't give me a whole lot of space in between them at the boom. And we're thinking if we stagger them kitty corner from each other, that it gives us more space to walk up and down the bimini top without standing on the solar panels. And I'm a real symmetrical person, and I like to have symmetry in things because I think they look better. The practicality of this actually is a very interesting concept. I'll play it around with it a little more and we'll see. I kind of think that that's a good idea. This is how we had it before. Gives me a lot of room on both sides up here. Doesn't give me a lot of room back here. So I have a noisy track hoe over there. Try to talk above it. I kind of think I like them staggered for walking up here. I think that's going to be a better deal. As you can see, we can move the boom quite a ways off the top and expose the solar panels to the sun. No matter what I do, the front panel in the corner where the boom is could be shaded depending on which way the wind is blowing at anchor and the sun is shining, which would block part of it. We're going to have to risk the fact that one of the 320s in some anchorages might get some shade for part of the day because I can't get the boom out of the way far enough. And that's probably a risk I'm going to take at this point. How would you have done it if you'd have done it different? Okay, the next challenge I have, mounting these on here. Ideally, I want to bolt them down wherever I can through the metal tubing, which gives us a little bit of a challenge. You can kind of see how high this is right here in the back. It actually is too tall for the angle iron, so I'm probably gonna have to custom make some brackets out of aluminum. This up here works okay because when it's down, it's gonna be fairly tight. I do kind of want the top to be up like a 1/4 inch or something if I can. I don't want it to be up a ton because there is a pretty good chance that you could end up losing balance and have to put a foot on the panel to stabilize yourself, and if that happens, I'm not going to bend the frame or crack the panel. So the bottom side needs to be up a little higher. The biggest reason really is access. I want to be able to clean underneath the solar panels a little bit easier and be able to reach under there for wiring, and also I have to be able to get access to the bolts on the other side. So that's my thought process. Maybe it's wrong and I'll end up having to change this and I'll have a whole bunch of holes in my bimini top to fill, but I don't know. I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work great. All right, let's get after it.
It's hot, like really hot. The heat index is supposed to be over 100 degrees.
Pretty wicked, huh? Yeah. So I gotta bend this aluminum. I gotta heat it to 400 degrees with this, with the wind blowing, with a heat sink bench vise. Let's see if it'll work. Too much wind. Come on. Should work better than that. $114, 131 degrees, 289, 400, 400, almost 358 anyway. All right. Take my big benders. Ooh. There we go. Now the question is, how hot do you think that is now? Think I can touch it?
No.
Stick my tongue on it and see. Only 102 degrees it says. 105. Whew. Still pretty warm to me. Right? Alright, so here we go. Filling our water tank up. We're multitasking today. So that's the first bracket. So let me show you where it's going. So this bracket has to bolt down to that screw and then through the side of the solar panel to hold it in place, but it's got to go up a little bit higher. So this is the shortest one. The other two are 3 inches tall. This only needs to be 2.5. So that's what they're for. I got to make a bunch of these guys. Cute, huh?
It's an L for Liberty.
It's an L for Liberty. An L for Liberty. All right, so I got the first solar panel kind of in place, but I'm a little worried that I might have designed it to be too close to the edge, which I kind of want because I want to have as much space on the backside as I can, but what I'm worried about is that when the rain runs off of it, it'll run past my rain gutter, which would be a problem because then the rain would not be trapped on the bimini top and would not catch water for us. So I'm gonna pour a bucket of water on it and see what happens. All right, you saw, that was a fail. I'm gonna have to move them further away from the edge in order to not have the rainwater just go right over the top. It's a job for tomorrow. I'm tired for today. I'm gonna pack up the tools, put away the canopy, and call it a day. The trick with the aluminum is you got to get it pretty much 400 degrees-ish in order to bend it well without the molecules cracking. The pieces of wood here are insulating the aluminum because the vise is just a big heat sink. I thought I could do it without it. Put a couple pieces of wood in there. Aluminum soaks up the heat really good, but it also cools off really fast. You got to be kind of quick. I've been dunking the wood in the water to help keep me from, catching it on fire with the torch, and that's how it's done. All right, so I got all the brackets. The first 3 that I did, I have to modify. I have to drill a hole in a different place to move the panels further away from the gutter like we showed on my test where the water ran over. So I've got to pull those off, but then I got the rest of those right here. They're not perfect, but they'll work. These other ones are made out of actual aluminum angle. And those will go on the top side of the curve of the bimini where the solar panel is almost touching the roof, so they don't need to be as tall, and I was able to just use angle for those. I want to get rid of some sharp edges and some rough corners in case, you know, line gets caught on it or your hands or fingers. I'm going to use a combination of things like this big boy who's big and awkward and really coarse sandpaper, does kind of a rough job. This die grinder, which has a little bit better, finer sandpaper on it. Not too bad. I thought about putting them in the vise, but the vise is just going to take a lot longer to go through them one at a time, so I was doing by hand. With luck, this will be the last time that I have to use this drill press, and I can give it away or sell it. So Liberty's going to chamfer the bottom of these for our butyl tape. When the boat moves, I lose my balance when I'm precariously set up here. Alright, so middle, front, and back. So we should have this and this, and there should be a black, you see a little black plastic washer in there somewhere?
Actually, yeah.
Kind of hard to do this. I need 3 hands. You got an extra hand?
No.
Alright, so that's the idea. Watch out, I'm going to slide this over. Ooh, that's a nasty sound. Ooh. And now I'm far enough away that I think the water should actually run off rather than run over. Cross our fingers on that. I can do another test. Should we do another water test? Let's do a water test. I'm going to do a water test. Hang on. I'm going to start with more gentle stuff. No, what?
Coming over.
Is it coming over because the curb is full of water?
No. At first it came over. Launched over.
Way coming over the back.
Yeah, the back is close to the corner. Abigail, I need your help. Help me, help me. Come here. Well, I got a huge mess in the cockpit. Look at all this mess everywhere. Tools out on the walkway of the dock, but the solar panels on the bimini are actually attached. So I got the wires coming out so we can wire them up. Come on out here, I'll show you the top. Alright, looks pretty good, huh? Pretty awesome. So now I got to work on wiring them up. That's going to be over the next several days. See how it goes. Got the pirates coming back down. Yeah. Darn pirate ship makes all kinds of noise around here when you're trying to film. All right, I got to clean up a mess for the day. What I did here, this is pretty cool. You need to see this. So in order to get the wires inside of the bimini top and keep it reasonably waterproof, the nice thing is this expanded foam PVC, I can glue any PVC other items to it. So what I did was I took I think it's 1.25 inch 45-degree elbow, cut it down a little bit, and I drilled an 1.5-inch hole in the top of the bimini where I wanted it, and then I glued the elbow down over the hole, which gives the wires an entrance. And that's what this guy is right here. If you can see that. But because it's up above the top and it actually goes up underneath the solar panel, it's kind of like a Dorade box. So it would take, you know, full submersion of water to get water in through there. So I'm hoping that our bimini will stay dry even in heavy weather and waves. Pretty nifty, huh? I got one of those on each side for each of the solar panels. So when we get them all hooked up, we'll show you how they work. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. We're coming up on crunch time, right babe?
Oh, serious crunch time.
We have 5 weeks before we're supposed to be leaving.
Yes, it's time to go to blue water. That means that we're going to be headed towards Florida for the holidays.
We got a lot of work still to pull off. We have our daughter Katie's wedding.
Yep, if you don't know who Katie is, go back and watch some of the earlier videos. She was with us for the first 2 years. One of the things that has kept us tied to the land for so long is the fact that we are still making money. And we have decided that we're just going to take a leap of faith and that it is going to work out and everything's going to be awesome. But if you'd like to share some money with us, you can do our YouTube membership or you can jump on over to Patreon. All of that goes towards helping us do the boat work, upgrading the cameras, and being able to take the time to do this stuff with you and tell you what we're doing instead of being on the RV roofs, which is where Todd's got to head tomorrow.
Let's call it get Todd off the roof stuff. But your help is just, you know, we appreciate it. We really do.
It makes, we don't like to ask, but the reality is that I spend 20 hours of my week making these videos. And if you are so inclined to help us out, we really do appreciate it.
We do. So with that being said, we'll catch you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.